Hi, Amy.
Abby,
Today we are talking about 90 Day Fiancé UK, which,
episodes 1 to 5.
yes, many episodes because we're catching up. 90 Day Fiancé UK, I think, is much, much better than the US version. This year, this season is no exception. It's been absolutely stellar. I've loved it. It's funny, it's real, and at times it's quite annoying. But
Yes.
oh my gosh, it's good.
It is so good. I am really enjoying this season, and I'm so glad that we actually get to talk about it on the podcast and not just random text messages.
So much more satisfying to talk in person. Yeah. So today we're going to cover episodes 1 through 5 because we did not get to start from the beginning with this season, unfortunately. But from this point on, we're going to devote half of an episode or a whole separate episode. I don't think we've decided yet to 90 Day UK in addition to Match Me Abroad, so that we've got two really fantastic TV shows to cover, which is exciting.
This is the most excited that I have been about the show in a really long time. So to have two shows that are equally enjoyable and just
At the
it's
same
so
time.
nice. Yeah.
We're so spoiled for choice.
And I'm quite limited with my with the number of couples that's like really, really irritate me. So I'm not fast forwarding through as many couples as I typically do, because some of them I put them on like twice the speed just because I don't want to watch it, but I have to watch it so that we can comment on it. But between the two shows, it's just it's so refreshing.
Yes. I'm feeling like my 90-day battery is being fully recharged by these two shows.
I agree. I kind of just want to clap. I'm so excited about it.
And now that you've shared with me the announcement about the next season of 90 Day Fiancé, which is going to be the other way, I feel like maybe I'm going to have the capacity to be a little bit more positive. I hope. At least they have several new couples, although I'm not sure why they have Jenny and Sumit since they're already married. They don't really qualify as a fiancé show.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but we all know that I love Jenny and Sumit, so I'd
Absolutely. They're a lovable couple, but they've been on so many seasons so far. I feel like they're similar to Gino and Jasmine in that respect. Obviously, the drama is completely different and very different tone to their whole presence on the show. But I do feel like they may have slightly overexposed themselves for them to be coming back for another season.
well, they opened it up by Sumit saying that they were in, dire financial situations, so
Yeah.
that's why they're back. Like they were just begging to be back on the
Ah,
show, and they're like, "Oh, we'll stick you in on this one."
it's all about the money. Okay, well, let's talk about 90 Day UK. Just before we do, one more final little quick announcement, which is one, rate, review, follow us wherever you listen to the podcast. Two, watch the podcast on YouTube at 90 Day Fiancé, honestly. So let's start off by talking about each of the couples as we've seen them through these last 5 episodes. Anything of note that we've found so far, beginning with Shannon, who's 25, and Mete, who's 32 from Turkey. First impressions. Okay. So we first learn about Shannon and how she seems to be obsessed with all things Turkey, the country, the men, the food, etc. And she's also very much into football, which we in North America know as soccer. And meanwhile, Mete was the entertainment guy on an entertainment team at a resort, describes himself as a real party person, whatever that means.
That's great. Oh, hang on. So she's obsessed with everything Turkey except for the language.
Yeah. Interesting that she has not made any attempt to learn any Turkish, except that she does try to practice one sentence with her friend in the Turkish restaurant where she works at the very, very start. But we don't see her attempting to say anything to Mete or practice anything with him, which we actually see in some other couples too. And it does concern me. Because why, if you're trying to be with somebody on a very serious level, would you not at least attempt to adopt some of their native language?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me. And something else that doesn't make any sense to me with her is the way that she speaks in broken English.
That drives me nuts.
Absolutely bananas. It drives me bananas. Her doing it is not bananas in and of itself. It's
No.
just, why does she dumb it down so much?
Why? Exactly. And if he is trying to come to the UK, which I think is their plan, because it doesn't seem like she has any intention of living in Turkey. Why would she not be speaking to him normally and naturally in order to encourage him to develop his English rather than speaking to him like he's a dumb idiot and that then he doesn't ever improve his English language? Duh.
I wrote down a couple that irritated me and I don't like. Are you happy? I try. That was when she was eating the sandwich. I
Yeah.
think it was the second or
Yeah.
third.
Yeah.
Why? And then I don't make argument.
I really hate that as well, the way that she speaks to him. The other thing that I find very annoying, and this is something that can't be helped, unlike Shannon's use of weird broken English, is Mete's voice.
Oh, that
It-
was yes. I hate it.
Do I ever hate it more? Yes, I do. Does he, I wonder, have a helium habit? Is he constantly sucking on a balloon somewhere? Because it's that kind of voice. Is he sipping helium off stage and then, well, off camera, and then, because
I don't know.
oh, it's
I don't
hard.
know.
It's very
And
very difficult for me to listen to him.
his voice, in addition to the darling,
My God,
the overuse of the darling, but just in his
darling.
voice makes it so much worse.
Okay, darling, we have good time, darling. Okay, darling, now we go, darling.
Yeah.
Yes, I
And
know.
both of them.
Both of them
But
equally.
she doesn't irritate me nearly as much as he does. Just his personality, I find so grating. He's just so immature and so childish, jealous, just irritating. And, everything's a joke to him. He's not serious about anything. The minimalistic effort in their relationship as a whole. Ugh, I don't like that guy.
Okay, you mentioned a lot of words there that I totally agree with. Immature, yes, absolutely. Childlike, which annoyingly is what he accuses her of being. He says, "You are like a child. You are like a child, darling." And
Yes.
he has zero communication skills, and he blames her for having bad communication skills. He's really good at projecting. And yes, the jealousy, but it seems like she also has jealousy issues with him. And I don't know why. They do explain why he has jealousy issues with her because of her best friend Jay, who is a boy. Obviously, he's a male, a man, whatever. And there is no indication that Jay is in love with Shannon, nor that Shannon is in love with Jay. It's just this pretense, I think, for a little bit of conflict. And Jay acts more like a big brother who's being protective of Shannon and making sure that Mete isn't just being with her for the sake of a visa, which is totally understandable. But the way that they blow this out of proportion, I found a little bit much.
Well, especially in the first couple episodes, just with him even saying, yes, I'm jealous. But I think it's more because he knows that she's so far out of his league that he just wants to be so controlling so that she doesn't realize the fact that she deserves so much better.
That's an interesting perspective. Yeah, he did mention it from the get-go that everybody at the resort where he worked wanted Shannon, and he's the one who ended up with her after many attempts to get her to go out with him. So perhaps that is where he's coming from, a place of
I think it makes sense.
sort of delicate self-confidence level.
And despite his grandiose idea of how fantastic he is. Ugh.
Yeah. And then the way that he hangs up on her when they're in the middle of the video chat talking about Jay and he's so jealous of him. I don't know. I feel like this couple has some serious issues with talking to each other, with communication, with resolving conflict. And Shannon is really no better off than Mete is in this particular regard because she avoids confrontation. She deliberately goes out of her way to not talk about the difficult things or to lie or secret something away and keep it from him.
Sweep it under the rug.
Yeah. But there was that moment at the airport where she had been calling him and he wasn't answering and she didn't know if he was going to show up. And then there was all this tension over, is he going to actually be there? And then he swoops out of nowhere and gives her a big hug. And he says that he had issues with his phone. It ran out of battery. He was at a friend's house or something. And I was like, I don't really buy it. I think he was just pissed and jealous about the Jay stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And was
he wanted to make her suffer.
Yeah, he was trying to punish her. Definitely. So where do you want to go with this? Do we talk about the meeting with Mete's cousin and his friend? Because that was awkward.
Well, again, with that is her broken English and her even saying I'm out of small talk with my broken English. Like they're not dumb. They're not they're not stupid people. You can still talk to them in English. They seem to understand quite well.
Mhm.
I mean, maybe she was just out of small talk. I don't know why she needed to specify with her broken English.
They didn't seem very open to talking to her. Like they weren't asking her any questions. They
Yeah.
just kind of sat there like bumps on a log and said yes or no or something to each of her questions. And then she ran out of questions. And then Mete took the cousin away to go dish on what's been going on in the kitchen without her present. And I was thinking, well, what is Shannon talking about with the friend? Because the friend even speaks less English than the cousin does. All of this is very weird. Like Mete doesn't have any concept of looking after her. You know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah. Well,
protecting her and helping her out.
no, it's because he's too selfish. He doesn't really care if she's comfortable or not.
Then they have the awkward phone call with Jay, which actually turns out to be a big nothing sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
They
Oh, but
resolve the
what wasn't a nothing sandwich is, I guess, for this entire season, the amount of food has been incredible.
oh,
Right. You
okay.
mentioning the sandwich just
Yeah.
reminded me of that. But yeah, nothing came of it. He was just overreacting and just being a jerk as he does, whatever. Nothing sandwich.
And then once that issue seems to be put to bed over the question of Jay and jealousy, all of a sudden Mete is like, okay, well, next is I want to propose to her because this is the next trip. This is the next step. So I'm going to take her on a trip and I will propose. And what he chooses, I found very interesting as the trip because Shannon doesn't know what's going to happen. He's surprising her. And then he shows up in a little tiny caravan that he's going to take his girlfriend, who he knows enjoys luxury resorts and hotels, all inclusive vacations. She loves the beach, she loves the warmth. And he's taking her in this little tiny caravan, not to the beach, not to anywhere that's warm. It's cold, it's rainy, it's yucky, and it seems to be winter, if I'm not mistaken. Because,
That's what it looked like.
yeah. So I was like, okay, Mete, well, you want this to make a grand gesture, and yet you're ignoring everything about what your girlfriend actually enjoys in a holiday. So what does this say about how much effort he's willing to put into the relationship?
I honestly can picture him getting so excited thinking about how irritated she's going to be and how much she's going to hate it.
Maybe. Yeah.
The amount of bickering that these
Yes.
two do
Oh.
in every episode, but especially in the caravan, was so aggravating.
Mhm.
And again, with their lack of communication skills, is just awful. It was so hard to watch. The secondhand embarrassment that I had watching them. And when they were trying to find a place to dump the
The toilet.
waste.
Mhm.
Really? We had to see that?
I agree. I did not need to see that, but I thought it was interesting to see how he completely ignores how uncomfortable she is, how
Mhm.
how how he's broken their rule. It's his problem in effect because he did what needs to be cleaned out of the toilet. And that he's ignored what she requested, he's ignored their agreement, and now he's ignoring that she really doesn't want to do this and make a scene
In the middle of the road.
in the middle of the road. Come on, man.
That's just so rude and unhygienic and just I think it just reflects him
Mhm.
as a person.
Yeah.
And also, it's so cold outside. It's rainy. They can't even roll the windows down.
Are you suggesting that it doesn't smell good inside the van?
I am 100% stating that as a fact.
Okay.
It smells like shit.
I I'm
And she was
I'm
complaining about it. She's like, and it still smells.
I just assumed that the toilet had some kind of closed system so that it doesn't let fumes escape, but I know nothing. So,
No, I just assumed that he just let it rip and kept it fresh.
oh god.
Sorry.
Can we go somewhere else, please?
Yeah, so they end up parking in a parking lot and then like in a motel parking lot, and they have an argument over him asking her to get out so he can back up. And yet he has cameras and mirrors and he doesn't even need her. Again, him just trying to irritate her and creating the argument so that he can blame her for something else.
Yeah.
And then he has this grand gesture of setting up this table with some lights and some little decorations and gifts. And she's over the moon.
Well, this is what I'm thinking, that he puts so little effort. And this is evident by the fact that she has this huge reaction of wonderment and gratitude for his gesture, which was tiny, minuscule, minimal effort, Rob scale, minimal effort from Rob and Sophie. And she's supposed to find that to be extremely romantic. Well, I guess it does. In the context of their relationship, it is, because he's done absolutely nothing else that was positive until this point. And then they go off and they swim in somebody else's house's pool.
Oh, that was so contrived. Just so contrived. How can you sneak into a pool with a camera crew around you?
Exactly.
And then the shots from inside the trailer with them swimming, it was meant to be, the cameras are hiding or whatever. And then the light comes on and, oh my God, they have to. I mean, really?
Yeah, obviously contrived. And obviously the cameras have big lights on them. And if somebody actually was in that house, they would have realized immediately that something was amiss because of these huge lights at night filming these people.
Yeah.
But if you just take it at face value and pretend, okay, this is his idea of a romantic date to trespass on somebody else's property and jump into a pool that is not his and that he would likely be ejected from if the owners came back and or have the police called on him, that he thinks that this is romantic and fun and that she should, but minimal effort. That's all I have to say.
Well, he puts nothing into it. So when he actually does something, then it's, oh my Lord, he's moved mountains for me. Oh, darling, this is so nice. I love this so much. And it was just so tacky.
Yeah.
Everything that he does is so tacky.
That's a great way to describe it. I like that. He's tacky and she is, I don't know what to say.
Brainwashed.
Maybe, she's getting to be brainwashed, yeah, but she's so naive to think that this is a good relationship and this is something to cherish and hold on to, because really it isn't. The way that he blames her for everything, calls her childlike and says, you are the bad communicator. All the problems are because of you. It's like, you don't have to take this, Shannon. You could just stand up and say no. Relationships are usually 50-50, somewhere around there for blame.
And then you can go back to having friends and not having to lie about hanging out with them.
Wouldn't that be nice?
I really don't know what she sees in him at all. I mean, I think it was the first episode when we were seeing older photos. Hi, Buses. Older photos of him, and when he's more cleanly shaven, and I guess he must have put on some weight or something, because he had an absolutely beautiful jawline.
Yeah.
And he looked so much better with his hair just slightly shorter. He was actually a pretty decent looking dude, but I think his personality and that voice just ruins it for me. Actually, he's not the only one, because we'll talk about her soon. Shorna. Gorgeous woman. And then the more I watch her, the ugliness of her personality just makes her an ugly person.
Absolutely.
And
okay.
That's Mete.
Okay, let's move on to our next couple then, because now I'm all anticipating Shorna. But we've got to talk about Zena, 65, and I'm going to have difficulty with his name, so please forgive me. Ibrahim.
His name is actually Ebrima.
Yeah, but she calls him Ibrahim. Okay, so Ibrahim, 44, who lives in the Gambia. Lover, loves to party. She loves to drink. She loves to dance. She loves music. She's had quite a bit of plastic surgery. She likes younger men. She has 4 kids, 7 grandkids, 1 great grandchild.
Oh, geez, I hadn't written that down. I knew she had a couple, but I was so focused on the fact that she's just absolutely hysterical.
She is.
I think she might be my favorite person from this season so far.
Yeah.
With her mom coming in as second.
Oh my God, her mom.
I had to keep rewinding it because I couldn't understand what her mom was saying. And then when I figured out what she was saying, I had to keep rewinding it again because I kept laughing over the other stuff that she was saying. Between the two of them, I think they were just an absolute delight, even if they are crass and borderline rude.
Borderline. That's generous.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so what do we know about Ibrahim? Well, I'm not sure that we can reliably count on anything that we have learned about him on this show because there's no way to verify it. There's nobody else to back him up.
Hey, he likes to run. He likes to stay fit.
Okay, but he says he speaks multiple languages.
And we've never heard him.
No.
But
He
he works in the service industry. We know
has
that for a fact.
no children.
Does he? Sorry.
Yeah. He says he can't have children until he has money, and he can't have children until he has a wife, and he also needs money for that. He needs to be able to support a wife and child, so he has 0 children, wink, wink, and definitely no wife, wink,
Wink,
wink.
wink. Yep.
And Zena says right from the start that she has never had Ibrahim ask her for any money. And yet, we see several instances of him asking her for money in gradually increasing sums.
Yes. And she gave him money for Christmas and his birthday, like a typical grandmother would. Am I right?
but he didn't ask for it, so it's
But he
okay.
didn't ask for it until he did. The $3,000 for the taxi or something, and
for the
for him to start a business.
Yeah.
Okay. And then he hangs up on her when she says no, but maybe I'll try. And he just hangs up on her.
Yeah. Oh, the internet is not working. I can't hear you.
And
right.
in that same phone call, he says that he got a refrigerator from his friend in Newcastle. So how much do you want to bet that he hung up the phone with her to call another one of his girlfriends from around the world?
Yeah. He definitely is a scammer. There's no question in my mind. And one of the things that gives it away is how badly he lies to her. He is an atrocious liar, and she buys it every single freaking time.
Yeah, I was so disappointed in her when she was packing and her granddaughter was looking up his social media, and she found it because he doesn't have social media, but him having it was just a joke and he deleted it, and everything's a joke with him too. For her to actually go was disappointing, though I appreciate the fact that she does go and she gets what she wants first before she dives in to confronting him about his lies.
Yeah, she's got an interesting technique or schedule for how she's going to confront him. Definitely with intervals where she is going to enjoy herself and get little bits of what she wants first.
And I say, do whatever makes you happy. Though I think that she's losing her optimism as we continue to see them together, and her interactions with the family, and that was just so weird when he was sitting with his quote unquote sister and she was saying, you two look nothing alike, and then one of the kids calls him Papa and he's like, oh, it's just the culture. Come on.
There are some huge holes in his story. And the frustrating part is because she doesn't speak the language at all. She has no one to speak to or to listen to, and she can't understand what's being talked about around her. So she can't investigate. There's no way for her to pick up on clues except for what she sees. And even that, he can just refute it right off the bat and say, no, it's not my son. That is my sister. That is my brother, not my son. So it's so frustrating.
And yet he doesn't know how old anyone is.
No, who knows? We don't do ages here in the Gambia. Who knows? They're just old.
We all just guess.
And I found
he knows that he's 44.
Yeah, he does. I was really annoyed that she actually went on the trip, because when her granddaughter comes to her and says, I can look for you to see if he's got a social media presence, and it takes her all of 2 seconds to find him on Facebook. And I thought, okay, why didn't she ask for her granddaughter's help before this? or do her own search. And when she's confronted with this idea that not only does he have a Facebook profile, which he lied about, he's listed himself as single, which is not the case, according to her. And there are all of these friends of his who are scantily clad ladies, shall we say, in light of the fact that he is Muslim and is supposed to be adhering to all of these strictures of Islam, which clearly he is not. I mean, for obvious reasons, because they are sleeping together and they have slept together, but also because she has an affinity for drinking, and he looks down on that. He frowns on that. He says it's no good because my religion says no. But okay, so you're selectively cherry picking from your religion as to which strictures you're going to adhere to, and this makes you a better person than Zena because you don't drink, but you have sex with her and you have friends who are slutty. So yeah, I was frustrated that she went. I thought perhaps she should not have gone.
I was disappointed that she went, though, good for her for doing what she needed to do. And I'm really curious to see, like, where she's sleeping. Is she sleeping with him in his bed at his family's place?
Yeah, that was unclear, but definitely they're sleeping together at the hotel.
Definitely. And I wonder, how is he spinning that to his quote unquote sister? I have to sleep in the same bed as her. And in the first episode, when we're introduced to his family, his mom was saying, she's the reason why we have, this rice to eat and why we have clothes. But were they coached to not talk about all of his other girlfriends around the world? Do they say this about every single one of them?
There's so many possibilities. Does the family even know that she is supposedly the girlfriend? Because they can't speak with her either, just as she can't speak with them. So maybe they think that she's just a benefactress and a friend. Let's go to the house that he's building, because that was another lie.
The addition, that is her room.
This house is clearly a house that has been under construction for decades, because all of those concrete blocks or cinder blocks, whatever they are, they're all different colors. And some of them look very, very old. They've been in that position for years. And the ones lying on the ground that are stacked up are clearly newer and haven't been obviously put into the structure yet. So I was like, how does she not see this? He's not building this house. He doesn't even live there. He lives in another city where he works at his resort job. His family lives in this place where you have to take a ferry to get there. So how is he building this house, supposedly, for them with her room in it? This is all just bullshit.
Yeah, and even when he was taking the cameras around and, this is her room and I have a lot of work to do, but I'm going to get it done before she comes in. And we don't really see the rest of the house. We don't see any of the bedrooms. And she was saying before that he was sleeping on the concrete floor, but yet it's dirt.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he's talking about the house that the family lives in, or maybe he's talking about his house or his dwelling where he lives when he's working in the other city. There's so many details that we don't know. There's so much information that's left out. It's just incredibly, I don't know what the word is.
I want to say just disheartening.
Yeah.
Because she's so lovely. I love her so much. And yet, he's screwing around. He's being a dirtbag.
And she's just being naive. She really is. Like, she's purposely blocking out all of the stuff that comes up that are obvious and deliberate red flags that should tell you, no, stop, scam, return home, do not come back here ever again. Like, she forgives Ibrahim so quickly and easily when she confronts him about the social media and he lies bold-faced to her. There's no consequences. She doesn't lay down a boundary. She just says, you better watch out because I'm going to have my eye on you. Doesn't go into his weird explanations like it was just a temporary page, or I deleted it, but I guess it didn't work, or it was just a joke and I was doing it to get back at you so you could come back into my life. Like, all of these reasons are so clearly made up.
Flimsy.
So flimsy.
I wonder. Yeah, I'm just gonna say it, and I'm sorry, but I'm gonna say it.
Okay.
She's stigmatized.
Yeah. What other reason is there for this to continue on in her life? A, she's stigmatized, or B, she's just so lonely, which is really sad considering all the kids and grandkids she has around her. But she wants to be in a relationship so much, and you would think that somebody 65 who decides to have all of this plastic surgery and loves to party and be with younger men probably feels pretty crappy about herself.
Well,
And
especially with all the drinking. Like, what are you running from?
yeah. Yeah. So there's a lot here that I think is going to reveal itself in due course. But for the moment, I would say my judgment is that she's never going to call him out on the bad things that he's done and is doing and continues to do. And that she's just going to go along with it because she does enjoy his company.
Well, I think she does call him out. She just accepts whatever stupid lie that comes out of his mouth.
Yeah.
I hope that she ends up breaking up with him because he doesn't deserve her light.
Oh, that's lovely. I
Thank
I
you.
totally concur. Yes.
Yeah. And also, I really just want her to go home so that we get to see some more from her mom. What else is going to come out of this 95-year-old woman's mouth? And, for Zena to say that her mom's really rude, I think is hysterical. And then, her mom saying that, you know, Zena thinks that Ibrahim is good looking and she's definitely rubbing shit in her eyes and just the stuff that was coming out of her. Man, both of them are just so funny. Let's just go back to them and leave him and his entire family.
Yes, as complicated as the relationships within that family are.
No, and that's nothing to say about his family because we really don't know anything about his family, but just leave the trash, which is Ibrahim. Just leave him.
Okay.
That's what I mean. Yes.
Let's read on. Let's
All
go
right.
to Shorna, 45, and Adnan, 25. He's from Albania, but he lives in Greece.
Yes. I remember when I first texted you about this and how excited I was. I'm like, you need to watch it, especially this one. And I didn't give any names. I was just, I think I was even like clapping in my head as I was typing it. Like, you need to watch. Okay. I'm excited.
Shorna has a problem. Her relationship with Adnan was founded on a very clear, very obvious sexual connection. But now she is celibate and she hasn't told Adnan that she has found religion, which is Mormonism, and she will no longer sleep with anyone until she is married. This has been going on for almost a year of her not having told him the truth, of her having converted to Mormonism, of her having made this decision, this gigantic decision in her life, even though he is ostensibly a part of it.
Well, she wants to get married to him, but it's none of his business. She wants to tell him in person. It's not going to be that big of a deal, even though she doesn't know how he's going to respond. Telling a 25-year-old guy that you're not going to sleep with him anymore. And I wonder, has she been having phone sex with him?
That's what I thought about too, because how could she have sustained this relationship for a year of not seeing him, not telling him what she's changed her, how she's changed her life or how she's changed her mind? And he's 25. He's got needs.
Yep.
And they've just been chatting about the weather for a year? Don't think so.
Yeah.
Really don't think so.
She's so emotionally immature. Like she chose to become Mormon. She, not only did her research and learned about what the religion is and all the rules, and she also got baptized, all without talking to him about it. And yet, God is the number one person in your life, and Adnan is number two, but yet you can't tell number two about number one?
No.
But
yeah, I like how just as Ibrahim is selective in his religious following, so is Shorna. Because how is it good, godly Christian to lie to your most important relationship, your future husband, because she does talk about marrying him a number of times. How is it good to lie to him for a year to keep this secret? And yet you choose the following the no sex path as the correct way, but
and also
telling
no
lies.
Kissing. No kissing on the lips.
Yeah, of course. All of that intimate stuff is totally taboo, but it's okay to lie and deceive.
Yes.
What?
Yes, it's okay to be selfish and stupid.
And stubborn.
And
She is
that's another
so
good one.
stubborn. She
Yes.
doesn't care what her friends think about her relationship. She doesn't care what her daughter's opinion is of her relationship, of herself, even when they talk to her and they give her critical view on what she's doing. They talk about her religion. She doesn't care. She's just stubborn.
Self-serving.
Yes. And I hate to say it, but Adnan, sweet Adnan, not so innocent himself. The way that he talks about wanting to go to England and all of the English things, it's clear that this is his ticket to England through Shorna. Easy
But
one, because
he has everything that he needs. He has a woman who has the financial means to get him where he wants to go. She is externally aesthetically pleasing to him,
yes,
and they have
active,
they have what?
active sex life. Very.
They yeah, those words were just evading me. So he gets the sex, he gets the freedom, he gets the money, and now he doesn't get the sex until the marriage. And like I can completely understand why he was so taken aback by all of it. And why didn't she tell him the second that she got there, instead of just turning her face when he was trying to kiss her, even
I
when,
don't
like,
know.
the second that she gets out of the van?
Yeah.
And then they go to the room, the super private room that's absolutely glorious, with that super private personal pool and the unicorn floaty, which I thought was quite hysterical. And he loved that thing. But I hate how she kept throwing it in his face that, he needs to decide whether or not he wants to be in this relationship, and the sexless relationship.
Yeah.
And
It's so unfair towards him, this whole
Mhm.
setup. She completely takes all of his feelings, any consideration towards how he might respond to this, out of the equation, and she only thinks about herself.
Yeah.
But what I found incredibly hypocritical is not just the selective, like, I'm going to lie to my partner, which is okay by God, apparently, but I'm not going to sleep with him. And then when she says about Mormonism and the rules around sex, she says, you're not even allowed to be under the same roof with if you're not married to that man. And yet, in this hotel room setup, whatever it is, they are both under the same roof very clearly. She's sleeping in the bed, he's sleeping on the sofa. They are still within the same space together. So, how does she allow this? How does she reconcile that in her mind? And also, while I'm on the subject of religion, she is completely delusional about the fact that she's just going to simply convert Adnan over to Mormonism and ignore the fact that, okay, he's Muslim, so he doesn't observe very much of the Islamic way. That's fine. That's his choice.
That's fine.
But just to completely disregard that maybe he might have an attachment to his religion and say, oh, I'm going to convert him, so it's going to be fine anyway. He doesn't need that Islam stuff. He'll take my religion.
Yeah, I was actually looking into that earlier, and it was, I forget what the saying was. Oh, flirt to convert is what
Oh,
the Mormon kids are calling it these
okay.
days, is because they encourage you to date and marry within
Yeah.
the religion, obviously. So what is the second best thing, is to find someone who isn't part of the religion and then convert them. You want to be with me, you have to convert. Oh, I mean, we've seen it so many times with the other religions as well.
Mhm.
I find it so disgusting. You're supposed to love the person that you're with for everything that they are and everything that they aren't. And you're also supposed to respect them. But I
Yeah,
feel like that's way too much to ask for Shorna.
definitely. Very
Ugh.
much like with Mete, I find that she likes to blame Adnan a lot for their issues. She
Oh,
says,
yeah.
you have a problem, not me.
And
When it,
he's the immature one because
yeah,
he's 25.
exactly. So he has a problem for not accepting the fact that she has hidden her secret religion from him for a year and that it has extreme consequences to their relationship because they can no longer have sex or be intimate in any way except for holding hands and hugging.
Mhm.
And yet that's his problem, not hers. Like, she just turns things around so easily, and she also becomes so angry and mean towards him so easily. I found that very disturbing. There were a few times when they sat down to talk and she would just completely ignore him, and when he was trying to express how he felt, she would shut him down and blame him.
Mm-hmm.
And in one instance, just storm away completely because she's not getting her way.
She's downright mean to him.
Mhm.
And you want to talk about her being juvenile is when they were playing some game on the beach
Yeah.
and he missed the ball or something and she starts taunting him.
Yeah.
Like a 12-year-old child. I forget what she was calling him, but she was calling him names, like a loser or
Yep.
something.
Mhm.
And repetitively. And he was right to storm off at that point. I think every
Mhm.
other time that she has stormed off has been dramatic, but I think his was more warranted because she
Absolutely.
was taunting him and
Mhm.
he didn't deserve that. And again, with the respect, she doesn't respect him and he calls her out for it.
Mhm.
And then again, flipping it around, he's the one that doesn't respect her. She's infuriating.
Yes.
Absolutely infuriating. And like the amount of times that he says that he's done and then she sits there and she thinks everything's all hunky dory because he agrees to continue and yet he's like, I can't continue this. And she's like, oh, everything is perfect. We're going to get married. It's so great.
Yeah. Okay.
Like
Well,
she's so delusional.
what did you think of the fact that he actually said to her after they had the mountain biking date? He said,
Where she fell
"Okay."
into the bushes. I watched
Yeah.
that part several times.
Poetic justice. Where he says to her, "Okay, I will consent to your way. I choose love over sex."
Mhm.
It definitely sounded to me like he was just paying lip service. He just wanted to make things calm and even keeled between them. No more
Mhm.
fighting, no more arguments, no more stress. So this is what I'm going to do to appease her for now.
Yeah.
Did you feel the same?
Yes, absolutely. Lip service was actually the word phrase that I had in mind
Mhm.
because I don't think that he actually means it. He wants to smooth the waters so that,
Yeah.
hopefully he can get it in before she leaves. Oh, well, I didn't mean it like that, but
Yes,
I
you
guess I
did.
did. I guess I
Yes, you
did.
totally did. Okay,
I
yeah, I
meant like
agree.
on her good side, but anyway, I'll leave that as it is.
No, that's perfect because though then when she manipulates him blatantly by showing him or sending him the photos in the washroom, which are
Oh,
supposed
it was an Instagram post. The
okay.
manipulation of
Yes.
that.
Yes.
And then sending him the post. So not only is she getting attention from her followers and whatever, now he's rubbing it in his face, what he could have, but now he's choosing not to have, but yet she's not even giving it to him, so he can't
Nope.
really even have it anyway.
I know. It's awful. It's so manipulative. Like, I'm going to send you sexy pictures of myself to taunt you, to tease you, and yet I'm not actually going to give anything to you. And then they go out to dinner and when he brings her the huge bouquet of flowers
They were beautiful.
and makes this suggestion to him, like, we're going to get it on. But they are definitely not. And
No.
but
And
like,
she
she's
even
just
says
so.
in her little interview, like, he probably thinks that he's going to be sleeping in the bed tonight or he's not sleeping on the couch or something. And she was all like rolling her eyes about it. I'm like, you're just an asshole.
She's cruel.
Cruel, that's a better word. Yes.
She's really cruel. She knows
Yeah.
exactly what this means to him and how excited he would be if that was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And she's deliberately teasing him.
Toying with his
Yeah,
emotions.
it's awful. It's really awful.
I feel like he's pretty transparent, like 25-year-old guys.
Yep. It's easy. There's
Yeah.
only one thing you got to do.
But that 20-year gap, and I think at first I even said, oh, Shorna got her groove back by meeting this guy. And now I'm just like, you're a disgusting human being.
Yeah. Agreed. Reading on.
Yes, please.
Phin, 33, and Sandra, also 33 from Brazil. This story is so interesting.
One of the first things that we're introduced to is his sense of humor, wearing that mask.
Yes.
So it's so disturbing, but I
Indeed.
can appreciate what he was trying to accomplish with, making a joke of politics. Okay. And he has an absolutely gorgeous cat. And immediately I loved him. A man who loves his cat enough to make sure that not only is she on camera, but he is showing him taking her to the vet because he's concerned about her behavior. I'm just like, yep, he's one of us. Awkward cat lover. Okay.
Introverted, awkward.
Yes.
Check, check. Cat lover, definitely check. Yeah.
Intelligent,
Mhm.
politically, I want to say politically sound, but I mean like in his own beliefs and political standing.
He's got a good sense of sarcasm, I think.
Yes. Of that good old British sense of humor.
The dry wit. Never
I
gets
love
old.
it. I love it. I
So
think he's wonderful, but I love the story.
this story is so fascinating to me. They've known each other
Mhm.
for 17 years. So half their life they've been in touch in one way or another, but they haven't actually gotten back in touch and romantically involved until 2 years ago.
When she accidentally butt dialed him or something.
Right. So a little bit not sure about that. And Sandra wants a ring immediately when he comes to see her in Brazil, which I thought was a bit much, but it definitely indicates how she is totally thinking long term for this relationship. She's very, very serious.
Mhm.
My
And he
question,
even says this trip is the make it or break it trip. Sorry, I
yeah.
interrupted.
So my question is he as serious? Is he really thinking long term about this? And I get the impression that maybe he's not. Like he might have been thinking about it romantically and kind of nebulously in this dreamy way, but working out the finer details and actually looking realistically at how this may or may not work. I think he's not gone through that territory. And his mom tries to get him to, but still it doesn't seem like he's really put much effort into considering all of the possibilities and all of the challenges.
Yeah, from a realistic perspective, what would life look like with her? And I think one of the biggest, or I guess the biggest issue aside from the distance is the kids.
Mhm.
We all know how I feel about them. So I can appreciate where he's coming from. And, when he actually does fly down to see them and he thinks they're so irritating and, oh no, we have to do bedtime for the second time. And I had to laugh. We've all been there. Me with nannying, you having your own.
Mhm.
And that's just how it goes. Like, what did you think would happen? And he keeps hanging his hat on, I don't think I'd be a good stepdad, but I think I would be a good role model. And I feel like he's hanging or he's putting too much emphasis on the label of being a stepdad as opposed to just looking at it from what does it mean? Like, what's the difference between a stepdad and a role model? Can't, I mean, you're going to be a stepdad if you marry her anyway.
Mhm.
You don't get to choose that label. No, no, no. I'm not their stepdad. I'm just a role model, but I'm also married to their mom. Like he's putting too much emphasis on the label and not putting enough thought into how he can't separate Sandra, like his relationship with Sandra, with her relationship and his relationship with the kids. There's no division. And I think in his mind, because, he's just been talking to her online and it's all just been the two of them, that he hasn't been able to picture what life would be like with her kids involved as well. Am
Okay,
I making
so
any sense?
no, because they haven't seen each other for 6 months. So
Oh, it was
this is
6
my
months.
question because they have spent time together. This is the first
Going
time that he's
wrong.
going to Brazil when he's going to meet both her kids and her family. So how is it
Okay.
possible that they've been together for 2 years and obviously he's been to Brazil to visit before at least once that he has not been introduced to anybody in her family or her kids in all that time, and so this is the first opportunity for that. That was my first question. But going back to what you were observing about how he's reluctant to take on the stepdad label or character, whatever you want to call it, I feel like there's more to it than just that. I feel like definitely he's afraid of being a father figure to these two kids. He's clearly introverted, but he's also afraid of being a member of this incredibly loud and numerous, highly numbered. There were a
Large.
lot of them. There are many, many people in her family. It's a very boisterous, loud family. He's kind of the shy, retiring guy who sits in the pub by himself, right? And these people get together all the time and they are noisy, they are in your face. He does not fit into that environment whatsoever.
Yes,
So,
they're loud, they're boisterous, I don't really want to say in your face, but I mean, like, they were quite literally in his face during this barbecue.
Yeah.
It felt so awkward. I felt so bad for him. I felt the need to run away and, cover my head with a blanket and almost hide for him.
Hmm.
And, his or her family is pulling him in every direction. There's really no escape for him. That must have just been so exhausting for him
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
overwhelming. Maybe all
Yes.
of them, because she said she has, what, 9 brothers and sisters, or there's 9 in total. Either
There's 9
way,
together. Yeah.
a lot of siblings. That's not even including the kids and
Mm.
partners.
Yep.
That's a lot of people.
It's a ton of people. And
And
he is very, very obviously overwhelmed by all of these people being around him, not just the 2 kids in the tiny little apartment, which is also very, very obvious. He's not a natural parent. But that's fine. You don't have to be a natural parent. But are you the type of personality that can tolerate noise and people in a small space? And I don't think he is. And I think that's where the issue lies. He could be a stand-in father, a stepfather to these kids with enough time and exposure to them. If it was a quieter environment, he had his time alone, there was a lot of space, there was a little bit more discipline, shall we say? I think he could cope with that, but it's out of control, it's noisy, it's full on all the time, and he is a cat lady. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is really, really rough for Phin.
Yeah. And, they've had that conversation before where he said that he doesn't want kids.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
then he finds out that she wants more.
That is astonishing to me that we're back in this territory of why haven't you discussed this before now? Because if she wants to have more kids and her sister knows that she wants to have more kids and yet Phin doesn't know, how did that happen? What have you
And
guys been talking about?
the fact that he doesn't want kids, period. It's not, I don't want my own kids.
None.
He
None.
just doesn't want kids at all.
No.
And again, you can't have that division. She is a package deal. You can't decide to have a relationship with her and then be hands off with the kids. That's not how this works. And I feel like she's doing a great disservice to herself. Sorry, I just like spit while I said that. She's doing a great disservice to herself by not respecting where he's at and by pushing him into something that makes him feel uncomfortable. Is this going to bite her in the ass? I don't know. Is this the pressure that he needs in order to accept the fact that this is his role if he wants to be with her? Will he learn to love the children as well? We will have to read on to figure that out. I feel like it's a lot of pressure for him, but you can definitely see the love between the two of them. They have fun together, they laugh. It doesn't feel disingenuine. And with that 17-year, I don't even want to call it a friendship because there was, that period of time where she went off and she got married and she had kids, and that's a lot of history for the two of them. I don't know. It's just really, as you were saying, just super interesting and intriguing. And I don't think we've ever had a couple like this before and her siblings grew up in an orphanage and he met them at the orphanage. Like that. It's insane. I feel like there's so much more to that story that I hope that we will find out more about. It just, it's so sad at the same time.
I had a couple of other things that kind of worried me about this couple. One is, like we've mentioned already, Phin isn't learning any Portuguese whatsoever. And really, if they've been together for 2 years, as they both say that they have, why has he not at least learned a little bit of basic Portuguese, like, hi, how are you? And I'm fine. And where's the bathroom? Anything. 2 years. Come on, Phin. And he can't even count to 5. He can't even count to 2, actually, because I think he said dos, which is Spanish, not Deutsch, which is Portuguese. Anyway, the other thing that irritated me is that when they were at the party and he's sitting on the couch and he's clearly uncomfortable with what's going on and wants her with him for support, and he says, I really need you. And he's kind of smiling and joking about it, but you can tell that he's also being serious. He needs her to stay.
That's his coping mechanism.
Yeah, to be his security blanket. He called her that, his security blanket at the beginning. Because he doesn't speak the language, because he's not able to cope with all these people and is just way too overwhelming for him. And she doesn't. She throws him to the wolves. She just says, no, this is my family. You got to get out. You got to talk to them. You got to do stuff. And I don't want to
Get
sit
off
here.
the couch.
And I was like, that seems a little harsh. If you don't recognize that your partner is an introvert and needs that help, and you are completely extroverted and you don't need any assistance, and you're familiar with all of these people at this house, you speak the language, you know what's going on, this is very familiar territory to you, and you don't at least offer them some kind of help when they ask, that's a problem.
She should have been able to read his situation, to be able to acknowledge the fact that he is stressed and he's laughing through his stress, but that's how he copes, because he can't sit there and look her in the eye and say, I am overwhelmed. I need your support. So that's his way of saying it, but also not saying it at the same time. And she just glossed over it like it was no big deal, whereas it was a huge deal for him.
So I think she fundamentally doesn't understand Phin, not just his personality and his inability to cope with situations where there's lots of people in a small space and it's loud, but also she's not able to understand that he's incapable of accepting a paternal role. And she has this idea that he's going to come to being a father naturally, that it's all going to happen organically, that then he will want his own kids, and then they will start another bigger family together.
Another family.
I don't think that she can see that. I don't think she's being realistic about who Phin actually is.
I don't think either one of them are being realistic at this point. And I think that this is a huge learning opportunity for both of them, for each of them individually and as a couple, because as you were saying before, as you had corrected me, that they have seen each other. So they've spent time separately, but they haven't, been around the kids and her massive family. So this is huge for both of them for very different reasons. Really appreciate how much fun that they have together, and the fact that they actually have some sort of semblance of communication. I'm not saying it's the best, obviously, because the whole kid conversation, but you can feel that genuine love between the two of them. And I thought that was really nice. It's really nice to see.
Okay, let's read on.
Yes, ma'am.
We have one more couple. Andrew, 36, Arrah, 30, from the Philippines. Now, these two have never met in person before.
First thing that I wrote was, Andy is what Brian thinks that he is. He's 100% self-sufficient. He's fully capable. Despite his disability, he doesn't make any excuses. He makes it happen.
Yep. And he's genuine.
And he has such a fantastic sense of humor, even like I don't even want to say it's like a self-deprecating humor, but he can laugh at himself. And I find his view of life very refreshing. He doesn't seem like he plays games in any capacity. He's who he is at face value.
Yeah.
And I think the comparison with him and Brian really stops at the capability, because he is just, he seems like such a beautiful human being. He seems honest. He seems genuine.
Yep.
And I can see that reflected in his relationship with Arrah. Is it Arrah or Arrah? Arrah, I think. Yes, either way. And then I wanted to know how long they've actually known each other for him to be flying all the way to the Philippines to be meeting her.
I think he said a year they've been talking online.
I tried looking it up, and someone said a couple weeks, and I watched them all again this weekend, and she keeps saying, we haven't known each other for very long, and he keeps saying that too. And she was, I forget what the conversation was, but I think she was talking to her mom, and she was just saying, they haven't known each other for very long. So
okay.
Anyway, I don't know.
Well, either way, they haven't met in person yet, so this is the first in-person meeting, which is crucial. I love the attitude that Arrah has towards this meeting, because she seems so level-headed.
Beautiful. Yes.
I love her attitude. She wants to get to know him better, obviously, for the sake of figuring out if there's chemistry or a spark. I'm like, yes, of course, essential. We see a lot of these couples who rush in and there isn't one, and they try to pretend, or they don't think it's important. Like, she is just so clear and honest about her feelings and
Secure.
very secure.
Both of them are very secure.
And meanwhile, I found Andy to be more of a hopeless romantic type. Like, it's clear he's in love. He's a goner. He says, I'm completely in love with her already. And when they talk on the phone, he's saying, I love you to her. And she says nothing back, which I found hilarious. She was a little bit standoffish on the phone. Like, he says, how's your mom? She says, good. Well, I'm going to go see her as soon as this conversation has ended. It's like, what? Do you want to end a conversation now? Is that what you're getting at? Like,
so you can actually find out what the answer to that question is.
It's just, they're delightful, both of them. And
separately and together.
Yes. And I think that he's amazingly brave to take on this journey, because obviously there are huge risks for him, not just physically, but also because of the challenges of mobility and if there's wheelchair accessibility when he gets to the Philippines, which he knows already that there is not very much of in any place except for the capital city. So there's huge risks for him, but he's going to do it anyway. And I love that attitude.
Yeah, he doesn't let anything stop him from something that he has his sights set on. And, good for him.
Yeah.
And I found it very refreshing to see two people who enjoyed each other's company so much. They're constantly laughing, they're constantly smiling. They really enjoy each other. And I feel like her apprehension before he arrived was, what does his disability really look like in person? Is she going to be able to handle it? And I think once she met him and she saw that he wasn't lying about his capabilities and felt that connection, that she really her walls really started to melt away.
You could totally see her relax into the relationship once they sat down for that glass of wine on the first evening. He's totally invested, and she seems open. She's willing.
Yes.
She's willing, which I thought was fantastic. It's a really
Beautiful.
Bodes well for both of them. I love that she doesn't see his disability as an obstacle. I love that she's just, I want to see if there's any chemistry. Just, she's so grounded. I love that about her.
Yeah, and he's a little more flighty, I think.
He's definitely off into the clouds a little bit, which is fine.
We definitely see that when he meets her mom for the first time, and it's like, hi, how are you? Do I have your blessing to propose?
It's a bit much.
And like, why wouldn't you wait and, read the room, see how her mom responds to you? Don't you think that's a bit overwhelming and excitable for you to ask that immediately?
Yeah, well, I think that his perception was that all of the questions she was asking, which is quite a grilling that the mom was giving him, were all leading up to something. And I thought that maybe what his thought process was that I'm gonna give the mom the opportunity to not have to say this, to not have to question what are your intentions. I'm gonna volunteer that information out of the goodness of my heart to show her that I am true, that I'm honest, that I'm real.
Okay.
And yet it backfired on him because she wasn't expecting that to be that quick or that blatant. I'm not sure exactly why she reacted the way she did, but yeah, it kind of blew up in his face a little bit. Not a lot, a little bit.
I agree. I hadn't thought of it from that perspective, but yes, I think that makes a hell of a lot of sense. And I think he realized his mistake, though it didn't deter him. He's just I love him so much.
So we've got two. We've got Harold from Match Me Abroad and Andy from this show that you're just ecstatic about, right?
And Zena and her mom.
Zena and her mom. Yeah.
I think her name's Ethel. But anyway, so going back to Andy, why is he rushing it?
Yeah, that's a good question. Maybe because he said this, that he's learned throughout his life because of his disability to seize the day, that this is the next natural follow-up for him.
Perhaps you need to establish further connection in person. I don't know. He just keeps saying, I need to propose before I leave. I need to propose before I leave. But do you? Is your relationship not enough? Can you not learn to be with each other and also without each other before you make this grandiose gesture. And again, the question mark of how long have you guys known each other?
Yeah, don't know.
I don't know either, but
It's delightfully hopeful, and it does feel very real to me. There is a palpable quality to their relationship that makes me believe that they either are in love or are falling in love with each other.
yes. I love the way that they enjoy each other, their laughter, the fact that they play off of each other it's so nice. No bickering, no fake BS, physically or personality wise. No, like nothing seems fabricated with them. It's very genuine, and it has a great flow to it with their relationship. And I really hope the best for the two of them. And I hope that they work out, because I love the chemistry between the two of them.
Yeah, me too.
I am still super excited about this season. I think the 90-day producers in the UK really have their heads on straight.
Yeah.
That they really need to contact the US and set them straight, because this fabricated BS is just not flying for me.
No,
But
me
the
either.
UK version and Match Me Broad. This is me clapping.
And they also don't seem to be getting the clout chasers that they do in the US. Like these people are just regular people, which is why we love the show. So I'm also very, very optimistic about this season of 90 Day. I mean, every season of 90 Day UK has been phenomenal, but right now I'm enjoying it even more because we've had all of this crap from 90 Day US, which has kind of soured the taste of things.
And we don't have that chicken guy.
The chicken guy.
Don't make me say it.
Oh my God, I'm scared. Okay, I'm not going to make you say it. I'm going to think about what you mean, because at the moment, my brain is not processing chicken guy.
You're going to hate me as soon as it pops into your head.
Okay. But
But
it won't
anyway,
be for long. It won't be for long.
So love the fact that he's not on it. I think he is my most detested person that we've ever seen.
Oh, I just remembered who it is.
In the UK, on the show, obviously.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
my
Yep,
most
yep,
hated
yep.
person. in the
I know. And
UK.
I recently saw a video that they did together, one of their music videos.
Mhm. Is that the one where she's leaning on the car?
No, it's a different one. It's
God.
not the one that they made during the show. It's one that they've made very recently.
Oh, well, I would just like to block that from every feed that I possibly have.
And she was the one who was singing, not him.
Oh,
Or rapping, or whatever it's called. I don't even know. I know exactly what.
What an awful idea.
Anyway, let's not linger there.
No. Okay, so this season, I think it's between my most irritated two. It's Shorna and Mete.
Yes.
For different reasons.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Well, there will or are already more couples. I haven't watched the episode yet, but you have. So more people likely.
Yeah.
Oh, and we still
have that
have
one repeat.
Yes,
couple.
the repeat couple, which is also he's also from Turkey, as I recall, right?
I forget his name, but I remember her name is Sam, and you have a lovely nickname.
Yes.
Term of endearment.
Yes. We'll talk about that later.
I hope we don't have to, but we know that it's coming, so.
It is, unfortunately.
I'm not looking forward to that, but I'm looking forward to everything else.
On that note, before we go, if you're enjoying the 90 Day Fiancé Honestly podcast, please subscribe to or give a show a follow. And if you have an additional moment, please rate us and help other 90 Day fans to find the show. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, everyone.
See you next week.